Good morning and welcome back to Bobcat Matters. I'm Solomon Nash.
And I'm Peyton Christofferson. We're excited to have you with us for another episode where we dive deep into the heart of our Bobcat community. Midterms have begun for many Texas State students as we pass the 9-week mark on the fall semester. Here's Wesley Farrell with more on how students are preparing.
As midterms approach, some students are beginning to feel the fatigue of mid-semester burnout. If you're feeling this way too, don't fret. Resources at Washington State University say that 80% of college students will experience burnout at some point this semester. Some students shared their strategies to decompress.
I love to go out with friends and just hit school, love being outside, being in the sun. I think that takes my mind off things.
I think usually I just kind of take time to myself, kind of just relax, put aside some study time, set aside some focus hours just so I can make sure that I have time to study, but I also just have time for myself.
Other students think that prepping for the exam is the easiest way to relieve stress about an upcoming test.
I try not to do it with like a group of people, just low-key by myself, and then Quizlets, PowerPoints, and I write everything out because writing it helps me like kind of memorize it better.
President Damphouse even had some advice for students as they tackle those tests.
Don't do this, but this is what I did. If I had a test on Wednesday afternoon, I would skip all my classes before that test, and I would sit in my room and I would just memorize like crazy. I also slept with a textbook under my pillow because I heard somewhere that if you do that, you could learn better. And so that was one of my rituals. My textbook was always under my pillow in my dorm room, and then I would skip everything that day and I'd go take the test. Terrible strategy. Don't do that. Neither one of those things works. Sleeping with a textbook under your pillow doesn't work. Memorizing doesn't work. Do better than me. Don't be like K-Damp.
Texas State offers a wide variety of resources for students to help them study, like Slack and the Writing Center. If you need extra help, don't forget to go to your professor's office hours. For Bobcat Matters, I'm Wesley Farrell.
Despite protests from environmental groups, work towards the Hill Country Film Studio continues. Zane Forsberg has the story.
Right here, 6202 West Centerpoint Road, is the building site for Hill Country Studios, a massive movie studio being built in San Marcos. Over 200 acres of land are being devoted to the project, and despite the undoubted jobs the studio will bring to the area, activists claim it will not come without its downsides. The building site on the La Cima development will be right over the Edwards Aquifer Recharge Zone, where water is easily able to seep through the ground and refill the aquifer. While Stage 4 water restrictions already rock San Marcos, activists question whether we can afford to compromise our aquifer further. In June of last year, when a tax incentive for the site was approved, hundreds flocked to the San Marcos City Hall in protest, where students, activists, and city council members spoke out against the tax incentive. Virginia Parker, executive director of the San Marcos River Foundation, says that while La Cima can't be stopped from building on their development, there are measures people can take to protect our local ecosystem and water supply in the future, including voting for people who care about our natural resources and advocating for county zoning authority.
We do not allow our counties to have any zoning authority, and that really doesn't enable the counties to be able to protect our natural resources like they should and like they can in other states.
La Cima has made some concessions to activists, agreeing to leave a portion of their land undeveloped and to build using some green infrastructure practices, but the studio is planned to be completed by August of 2025. I'm Zane Forsberg of Bobcat Matters.
There's a new restaurant in San Marcos with refined twist. Tarbox and Brown, located at the Kissing Tree Country Club, specialize in scratch kitchen cooking. Guests can enjoy their food with scenic views and posh decor at affordable prices. Tarbox and Brown serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner with options for alcoholic beverages as well. Be sure to visit www.tarboxandbrown.com for details on their hours and menu options.
Who knew all the benefits that come along with cooking at home? Avoiding takeout food not only benefits you financially, but also helps students improve their eating habits. Here's Bobcat Matters' Andrea Nara with more.
With the many appetizing choices the university has for meal options, students can go a little overboard with spending. For first-year students, they are enrolled in a meal plan and are able to go to the dining halls or even use their dining dollars for any other options. But what about the other percentage of students who don't have a meal plan? Learning to cook at home has many advantages for students.
Yeah, I do think that cooking has a lot of perks to it. I feel like there's a good sense of security whenever it comes to like being able to food prep days in advance and then just having that food ready at any times to eat.
It's a great life skill to have, and why not get a little creative with your taste buds?
You know, how students eat, especially those here on campus, It affects how they learn, how they, participate in class or lack thereof, and just kind of performance overall, and how they, affects their social life as well as school.
And it's way cheaper. Rather than getting takeout food every day, wasting gas, or paying delivery fees, it's efficient to make food at home and make bigger portions for the week. And with all the benefits that comes along with cooking at home, why not take advantage of that and start saving some money and get creative in the kitchen? For Bobcat Matters, I'm Andrea Narro.
The quad is buzzing with activities most days during the school year. Organizations set up tables to recruit, fundraise, raise, or invite students to an upcoming event. Students and members pass out information and share enthusiasm about their organizations. Amplified sound is prohibited in the quad, but is allowed in the LBJ Mall outdoor spaces. Members of organizations can reserve an outdoor table space with their net ID and password. Compliance with the reservation rules is required. You can find outdoor reservation information at txstate.edu.
Joining a club in college is a great way to meet some good friends. The Texas State Climbing Club is one of the many clubs at Texas State University. Zach Horn has more.
The Texas State Climbing Club is a social club that revolves around climbing. They meet on Tuesdays at Armadillo Boulders and at the Student Recreation Center on Thursdays. Every other Sunday, they travel across Texas to hike, climb, and camp outdoors. They have traveled to places like the Medicine Wall in San Antonio and the Greenbelt in Austin.
What makes climbing fun? I really like the feeling of getting stronger, of like, yesterday you weren't able to do it, today you are able to do it.
The club is open to any level climber. They have many students who have never climbed to students who go out and compete with the club. The club goes to a few competitions throughout the spring semester to compete with the other college climbing clubs. They fully encourage new members to also compete since it is beginner friendly. Kedar Chokwala, an employee at Texas State Climbing Wall, commonly, along with Carson, advises and helps new climbers on what to do and how to improve.
Use your arms less, use your legs more, figure out your footwork. Arms are weak, legs are strong.
Consistency is key. When you're starting climbing, do it as many days in a row as you can, because that's going to make you, in the end, stronger.
The club requires a $40 membership fee, which includes direct membership for the semester and allows you to climb at Armadillo Boulders for a discounted price. This has been Zach Horn with Bobcat Matters.
Students who live on campus are required to purchase a meal plan through Texas State. All the dining halls have a different variety of foods, but not many are aimed towards students with dietary restrictions. Dine on Campus is a resource for students that allows them to see what is on the menu at each dining hall every day. It also notes if the food items are vegan, vegetarian, or gluten-free. While this is a great resource, there is normally one or two options, and they repeat them very often. This makes the later times in the semester a struggle for students with restrictions.
A dessert business opened at its newest location on October 13th in downtown San Marcos. The Sweet Spot is a new Braunfels-based business that serves coffee, signature desserts, and other bakery items. Its new location replaces the former Stellar Coffee Company, which closed this September due to financial issues. The Sweet Spot starts serving every day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 232 North LBJ Drive, Suite 101.
The high heat and drought cause dangerous wildfire conditions. The dry vegetation is fuel for fires. Adriana Cabal has more.
Central Texas is under severe wildfire conditions. There have been 80 days with temperatures over 100 degrees. This fire occurred in North San Marcos and Kyle. Many of the recent fires have been started by unmonitored burn piles and equipment. Fire departments have policies in place to assist neighboring departments when a fire gets too large for one department to handle.
So the agencies here actually have a predetermined response protocol for wildland incidents that might get too active for one agency to handle themselves. So this thing's called a wildland task force. We saw responses from departments such as Kyle, which is us, Buda, North Hayes, South Hayes, Wimberley, San Marcos.
Resources from around the state assist with larger fires. Fire stations are on high alert during times of high wildfire danger. High winds can carry embers to nearby fields. It's good to check smoke alarms and fire extinguishers regularly.
It's a good idea to have a go bag with emergency supplies in case the building needs to be evacuated.
Emergency kits should have food, water, first aid kit, flashlight, hygiene products, items for kids and pets.
It is important to pay attention to the weather and any burn bans that are in play. Check with your local area. Listen to emergency officials if you need to evacuate.
You can check the local fire department websites for more fire safety information or visit FEMA.gov for emergency go kit information. I'm Adrienne Carbajal for Bobcat Matters.
That's all we have for this week. I hope you've enjoyed today's Bobcat Matters.
Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to having you with us again next week. Have a great day.